Welcome and thank you all for joining us for today's Lunch and Learn discussion. My name is Corey Miller and I'm the Executive Director here at the Cabbage Patch. I will be serving as your host for today's session. So this afternoon, we have a very special program focused on the amazing Cabbage Patch alumni. And this panel discussion is titled, Alumni, Where Are They Now? You're going to find that out and much more. Our moderator with our panel today is the incomparable Megan Levine, Cabbage Patch Director of Programs. Welcome, Megan. And I will give a welcome and a brief bio to our three special guests. The first is Kimani Elam. Kimani attended Western Kentucky University and the University of Louisville and graduated cum laude in 2013 with a Bachelor's of Science in Education and a minor in social work. Kimani is currently working as a housing specialist social worker for Louisville Metro government. Important work. Welcome, Kimani.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Taiwan Johnson has a bachelor's in accounting from UK and an MBA from the University of Louisville. He currently works as an accountant with PRM companies. Welcome, Taiwan.
How's everybody doing?
Doing great.
I'm sorry.
And then Kim Shea Nelson has a bachelor's degree in sociology from the University of Louisville. And she started and manages a small business that helps adults with disabilities find employment in Louisville. That's great work too. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you.
So now without further ado, Megan Levine.
Thanks, Corey. Well, I'm really excited that I get to ask some questions and moderate today. I'm glad they invited me to do so because I've had the pleasure in my time at the Patch of working with each of the folks here who are representing our alumni. Kimani was actually one of my first. He taught me what it was to support kids at the Patch, young people at the Patch. And he gave me one of Miss Napier's mottos: you're never too old or too far removed to be a Cabbage Patcher. So it's a blessing to me to be able to introduce you all and chat with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go one by one and just ask you all to tell a little bit about yourselves. So if you go again through your name, kind of what you're currently doing in your job, and then some time or some information about your time with the Patch. So when did you start coming to the Patch? Kind of what were your favorite things to do here before we get into some of the bigger questions? So since Kimani was one of my first folks, I'll invite Kimani to go first.
Thank you so much, Megan. So again, Kimani Elam the first. I am currently, as I mentioned, a case manager for Louisville Metro government, working in housing and support division. Primarily, my role here is assisting homeless individuals who are in our shelters here throughout the city in finding housing, and we do that through grant programs that we have been given to administer through the Coalition of the Homeless. And the particular program that I oversee is the HOME program. It's a 2-year temporary assistance program. It's basically designed for those individuals who just need a fresh start and just need some help getting themselves back on their feet. So it relieves them with the majority of the expense of paying for a dwelling for a couple of years so that they can work on other goals and remove other barriers and then work to become self-sufficient, which is that is my role here. I started coming to the Cabbage Patch at the age of 6 years old. I had a cousin named Lamont Clay who was attending the Cabbage Patch, and then it was also recommended to my mother by the father of Kim Redden, who is also a Cabbage Patch alumni. And so my mother brought me at the age of 6 because at that time that was the age you had to be to become a member, and she signed me up and took a tour with Mr. Chin, and that kind of started my lifelong journey. So in being a member of the Cabbage Patch, some of my favorite things, as I've been just discussing with Megan, were summer camps. Just the memories that I have from those summer camp experiences just like embedded in my mind. And I learned so much. I met so many different people, but also a lot of in-house experiences that I had, whether it be the teen club, whether it be just hanging out in the rec center, homework helper, which was the predated educational opportunities program. So I stayed on punishment a lot when I was younger. So in the wintertime, I didn't get to come to the Cabbage Patch as much as I would like. But I came enough to where, they always were familiar with me and knew my face. And then in the summertime, it was pretty much every day I was at the Cabbage Patch. So just lots of wonderful experiences, learning how to pitch a tent, learning how to cook outside, learning how to canoe, just learned a lot of outdoorsmanship type of things. And the number one thing that stands out that I've taken with me in my professional career is interviewing skills. So the first time I ever did a mock interview, the first lesson that I learned about interviewing were from the Cabbage Patch. And those things just somehow ingrained in my head, and I was able to really fall back on those things when it was time for my very first job, and even still today.
Not only exciting to hear about what you used to do, but that those skills still carried with you. That's awesome. What about Miss Kim?
So I started going to the what I'm doing now. In 2007, I partnered with a couple people and we started an organization that helps adults with disabilities find jobs in the community. We have a contract through the state vocational rehabilitation. And so we place people and follow up with them to make sure that they're maintaining their jobs. And if they're having any problems, try to help out with that. For the most part, I do have a small caseload, but for the most part, I handle all of the office management as well as managing the staff. And so I've been doing this for quite some time. And in the spring, I'm excited to hopefully pivot my career a little bit. And I'm going to go to Bellarmine to take a pre-SHRM CP class so that I can get certified in human resources. I was probably born at the Cabbage Patch. That's when I started going. My family went to the Cabbage Patch. So my mom, my dad, my grandmother worked in the daycare. And that's when I started going, was when I was probably 4 maybe. And I started out in the daycare. So I grew up at the Cabbage Patch with Kimani. We went to camp together. We were at the patch every day, and that was pretty much our life. My favorite thing to do, though, was probably play basketball. I did like to do arts and crafts with my mom, who also worked at the Cabbage Patch, and founded kind of the homework helper with Miss Fish. But also, do a different type of art with Mr. Chin, with woodworking and leather crafts and things like that. So it didn't matter what day we came, there was always something for us to do at the patch. And now my kids well, they're not babies anymore, but my son is a scholar and went to UK, and now he's going to finish up at JCTC.
Thank you, Kim. We appreciate that. And you have quite a Cabbage Patch pedigree, going all the way back to grandparents and staff. And wow. So Taiwan. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. My whole family was involved with the Cabbage Patch at some point or another. I think an uncle helped out with the Alumni Association for a while. And like all my aunts and uncles grew up at the Cabbage Patch. So we were all there. We were all a big family.
Nice. So Taiwan, why don't you tell us about yourself?
So I started going to the Cabbage Patch when I was around 16, 17, maybe. I really can't remember the year. Every time I try to think about it, I forget. But I started going like probably before my sophomore year of high school. So I had moved like to old Louisville. like I met like a whole bunch of friends, and I was real close with my friend Abby, who went to the Cabbage Patch, who actually told me about it. Before then, I started to go, before the Cabbage Patch, before I knew about the Cabbage Patch, we used to go to Walnut Street just to play basketball. That's what drew me in to the Patch. Is like, that's the main thing I wanted to do, was play basketball. So I met a lot of friends there, and I remember the first day there, Miss Megan, she had took me on a tour to show me, all the other things that the Patch offers, basically. So that first day, I really didn't think too much of it, because I thought it was like the Cabbage Patch was, for younger kids, because that's all I really saw was like little kids there. But around the time that I went, it was a lot of teenagers around my age. So I got involved with teen club. I got involved with teen club, homework helper, like different activities that went on, like Halloween in the halls, like doing stuff for the kids. It was just always something going on, like when I went to the Patch. So throughout my undergrad year is through UK is like, it was just filled with Patch kids that went to UK. So like, and I'm still friends with them to this day. So like, I have plenty of memories from going to the Cabbage Patch. I don't know what else, Miss Megan. It's like so much. It's like so much. Like the Cabbage Patch has helped me out a lot. They the reason why I went to college, got the scholarship that I had for my undergrad year, ended up going to U of L for a year to get my graduate degree. And I'm currently working at PMR companies. I work as an accountant. So like I manage like the accounting for like probably around 12, 13 different like apartment complexes every day. So we're just like a management group. And it's like our accounting team is like grows, like it just keep growing like every year. So we have like pretty much about 4 of us, and we manage like 13 different properties within our accounting department. So like I said, it's like growing every year. So it's amazing. And I love my current job now. So
Which I still find funny that you did accounting, because I remember helping you in education with homework and you hating math.
mm-hmm.
And when you told me that you were declaring your major as accounting, I said, you hate math. And you said, Miss Megan, it's not math, it's accounting.
It's not math at all. It's really not math at all. Like the math part of it is just adding, like, I really don't even add anything for real. Like it's more than that. But like I said, I like where I work and what I do currently. So I'm glad the Patch has propelled me to where I am now, basically.
I'm glad you enjoy it. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions of folks. And actually, Kimani helped me out by kind of starting one of the questions with talking about something that you learned at the Cabbage Patch that you feel like kind of carried forward into your adult life. And since Tawan's on now, I'll let you say, Tawan, kind of if there's something you feel like you learned at the Patch that carries into adulthood.
What I learned at the Patch, be serious about what you want to do. Like be practical. Like I tell like my younger siblings that I know, like I'm saying, if you want to do something, like be practical. Don't just say you want to do this and do that. Like you need to know like how you're going to get there, what you're going to do. Is the job a career that you want? Is it going to help you sustain a life that the life that you want? You know what I'm saying? So I learned like a lot of those type of lessons at the Patch, because like I said, it just helped me stay focused with young teens that like basically grew up with the same type of upbringing. Like the Patch was just like a way to like hang out, just to hang out with like like-minded people that wasn't into no no other stuff that'll get you off your direct path. So I would say like that's like really the most important thing. So like that extra curricular activity or like any after school activities, like I don't know, it just kept me focused. Like around that time I was running track and I played basketball during school. And when that was over, I'm done with, like the patch was like my outlet. You know what I'm saying? Not just playing basketball, but for, just doing homework and have somewhere to go. So I would say that.
Thanks. What about you, Kim? What's something that you feel like you learned at the Cabbage Patch that carried with you into adulthood?
There's so much, but I think that the biggest thing for me is integrity. When you wrong somebody, make sure you make it right, and own your mistakes, and always find the learning opportunity in every mistake that you have. Between that and confidence, there were a lot of us that were there when I would go, and everybody came from different walks of life, and we accepted everybody for who they were, and it was okay to be who you were. And so I think that, having the staff to be able to reinforce that who you are is okay, and sending us off into adulthood to know that has kept us able to compete with, anybody in the workforce, or, made us humble in everyday life. So I think those are some of the biggest things. I think it was more about building our character that kind of helped us all be successful.
So this last question that I want to ask folks, I'm going to start with Kimani, because it's really about what you would wish for the kids that are at the patch today or in the future. And since your daughter Kimani is with us here right now, what are the things about like that you would wish for Kimani at the patch as she goes forward?
So I recently, of course, just had a conversation with Megan about this, and I'm a very nostalgic person. So when I think about the Cabbage Patch, it's like clear as a bell for me. And the biggest thing that I think that I want for my daughter is to have those experiences in traveling the United States with the Cabbage Patch, experiencing the outdoors, and learning some skills other than things that you need to live in the city. And so I actually wrote a letter to Megan, and we were discussing it, and it was, I think, 7 different states that I traveled to with the Cabbage Patch, and over 25 different locations within those states that I was able to think of that I visited with the Cabbage Patch, and so it was a lot. And the one thing that as I got older and I got a sense of kids, they don't realize how much things cost and what goes into making something happen, is that if it was not for the donation and support of the Cabbage Patch, because that was one thing they always made clear, is that it's a Christian ministry organization that does not accept any outside like fake funding. So it was all done through donations, and the costs for these things were very, very reasonable, and those who could not afford still did not get left behind. And so I really just want for her to be able to have these enriching experiences, to meet people who are on different social economic statuses than her. She's sheltered, she's spoiled, and as I may have been coming to the patch, and it was eye-opening for me to be able to meet people who were on different levels than me. Again, just being able to travel and have experiences with other young people and make those lifelong friendships, and make those memories. And just to become a part of that family, because it's a great family to be a part of, and we don't really get to pick our family, but you know, at the Cabbage Patch, that's one of those opportunities that you get. You can pick your family and pick lifelong friends, um, and so I just want her to be able to have that. And I never realized as a youth that the Cabbage Patch would be with me until my 40s. So, you know, that's saying something about the longevity of the Cabbage Patch family and what is instilled in us, that we're here now because we realize how important this organization is. We want to see it continue to grow and become better and better for youth of the future.
Yep. Once a patcher, always a patcher. What about you, Taiwan? What would you wish for the kids of the future of the patch?
I would say the same thing, really. Like the family aspect of it. Like I said, when I was growing up, like around that time, like I had just like I was probably the last to join, like out of any teams that went to the Cabbage Patch. So the family aspect was most definitely there. Like I grew lifelong friends that I'm still friends with to this day. So I feel like that's a big part of it, and especially for kids who, like, you know, probably don't really have no siblings or, you know, friends like that from school. Like the patch was like a place where you saw people, the same people every single day, you know, just build relationships with them. So I most definitely would say, yeah, family is most definitely an aspect. And um at my age now, like I still I'm still in touch with the Campus Patch. If I need anything or any help in life, like I can still reach out to the Cabbage Patch. So building relationships is very important, and not getting in trouble and kicked out. um, you know, just staying involved with the patch, like it's the most important thing. And it's open the patch has opened the door for opportunities for me. So I feel like if you like if you're not really focused on really like being part of the patch, like I feel like that's an opportunity that you don't want to miss out on. Like,
Okay.
so
We definitely love to be that connection that stays with folks, you know, cross generations in Kim's case. So Kim, we want to make sure we have a little bit of time for a question and answer. So for just 1 minute, can you tell us what you would wish for kids here in the patch in the future?
So I really was just going to piggyback off of Kimani and Taiwan as well, because the community aspect of it, you know, there were a lot of kids that came to the Cabbage Patch when I was there who didn't have friends outside of the Cabbage Patch, who maybe weren't the popular kids at school, and they found their community of friends at the Cabbage Patch. So since they kind of went over that, I want to also emphasize the mentorship from the staff. You know, when we were coming up, we had lots of staff that we know if we talk to today, and we do continue to keep in touch with staff and previous staff as well. You know, if I call Ed Thompson and I say, this is what I'm doing, you know, I've got this project going on, can you help me out? Then he'll drop everything and help me. If I talk to Mr. Holloway, same thing. If I tell him, you know, what I've been up to, I know that there are mentors throughout my life who are cheering for my success in the background. Just, you know, when I first met Megan, I had stopped, I had paused. I went for my bachelor's 1 to 2 classes at a time, and I had paused. And Megan's like, all right, come on, you know, time to go back. She met with me periodically, and you know, at the time I was in my 30s. She could have said, you know, she's aged out, but it is a lifelong thing. I mean, we can go to the Cabbage Patch today and still see people we know and still see people that are proud of us. So I hope that this next generation coming through has that same opportunity.
Such nice things said about the patch. I love hearing it. So is there anybody who is a guest with us that has any questions for our alumni?
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Well, you all are amazing, and we are blessed by the relationships that we continue to have with you. So we look forward to that continuing. And so thanks everyone. Just remember that we've recorded the Zoom and it'll be under our website, on our website under stories and news if you want to invite others to listen. And so this ends the year of Lunch and Learns of 2021. And we're going to have a full schedule for 22, and we'll share the details with you soon. And Thanksgiving's coming up, and we're thankful for all of you. So thanks for being here, and special thanks to to Kim in Taiwan and Kimani especially. It's great to see you all here. Thanks for your time, guys.
Thanks, Corey.
Thank you for inviting.
Thank you
Thank you
all.
all.
Happy Thanksgiving.